We are at a crucial moment for Bitcoin. Two possible scenarios will determine where we will go in the future. One of them is short-term painful, but ultimately healthier for the market. The other, a slow, drawn-out grind that could drag on for months, leaving most traders stuck in limbo. Today, I'll break down both scenarios, explain what they mean for your investments and how you can prepare to make the right moves now rather than regretting later. Let's get straight into it. Now, even though, and that's where most people are insanely confused, even though the US government and even Trump on top of that just signed the deal or the executive order for a cryptocurrency reserve, and we have so much bullish fundamental news and very big events coming up in the future and already had a lot of them, and despite that, Bitcoin is not pumping. And that leaves many people clueless and completely confused because the markets have changed. And I've always said that, and I will repeat it again because it's so important that people understand that are pretty fresh in the market, as most of you guys are, is that the crypto market is becoming more like the Forex market. After we had the Bitcoin ETF announcement and after this really came into reality, markets completely changed because now we are sharing the market not only with other players, with other people investing into crypto, other retail people or maybe smaller investors. Now we are sharing the market with the big banks, how we call them, basically the institutions, the hedge funds, and so on. So the market became very, very different. Very important is to understand that many people will be left behind right now because they just don't understand how institutionalized trading works. It's way, way more difficult. It's more painful. It's dragging along. Prices go sideways a lot. And therefore people are left clueless right now why BTC is not pumping. The main reason for that is, first of all, that this is a fearful environment for investors and traders, and retail is not really touching the market. And that's the main reason. The main reason is that when something is very confusing for people, as it is right now, especially crypto, people just don't touch it, right? I'll give you a very stupid example to break this down, but you might even feel the same way. Many times when I go shopping, which I don't really do because I am just constantly overwhelmed, right? I'm a person that can deal with a lot of things, but when I go shopping and I have a shopping list and it says, for example, buy these gummy bears or buy this toothpaste, then there's 100 different brands. Yes, there's completely full. It's overwhelming. It's too much. And when it's too much, I just don't really want to even go in there, right? Or I just grab the one that I know. And that's a normal psychology of a person, is that confusion causes stagnation, right? And this stagnation we are seeing in the market right now because people are just confused. Markets are not the same anymore. And therefore people are confused. Therefore people are not investing into it. Despite all the great news and the future of crypto, we are not seeing a regular crypto bull run as we have seen it in the past. In the past, it was pretty easy. We were in the bear market was pretty flat. Then we have the bull market, retail comes in, pumps it up. Most retail players would lose money even though they are part of the bull run because they pay out too late. The smart ones pay out early, make a lot of money, they are happy. Now, again, we are sharing this market with institutions, and for them it's cool if the market pumps a couple of percent, but then comes back down completely and wrecks people, causes liquidations, because you need to understand, again, in an order book, which means in an exchange, when they book in their big sells or buys, these orders need to be filled. There needs to be a lot of people to buy when they want to sell, and there needs to be a lot of people to sell when they want to buy, right? So at the end of the day, if you go as a retail trader on Binance right now and you open a position, the position will be filled because there's enough sellers that want to sell at that price. But if you do it in hundreds of millions or in very large sums, then orders need to be filled, right? There needs to be a lot of buyers if they want to sell, right, for the orders to be filled. Once these orders are filled, market reacts very strongly and then corrects. And then most of the time liquidates, obviously, most of the people, because this move then downwards when these people get liquidated is the move and the profit of these big institutions. Therefore, what we see right now is a more institutionalized market with 5 to 15% of moves and then full corrections back to the first price. And there's a video that I will link below that I just have spoken about last time, how to navigate these markets right now. But that's the true reason why Bitcoin and the markets are not pumping. The second reason is because liquidity is scattered all around. And here we'll go back to my main example and my main theory saying that a confused mind cannot act. Confused people are fearful. They will not act. They will hold back. There's no liquidity right now. Liquidity is not focused in, for example, meme coins or altcoins or meme coins. It's completely scattered all around the place. Therefore, there's no concentration. And if there's no concentration, there's no results. Take any example of sports. If you, instead of focusing on one sport and becoming very good and professional in it, you are doing 10 of them at the same time, that means now in 10 of them, you're okay. You're doing good, but you're not a professional. You're not insanely strong because you're doing 10 of them. Your focus is all scattered, right? And therefore, if your focus and concentration is scattered, none of them really works out. Another saying in success is that if you hunt 2 rabbits, you won't get one of them, right? And that's the same right now in crypto. It's very basic, simple theories and ideas that are represented in the market right now that leave people clueless. Therefore, there's no liquidity, people are fearful, and people are just sitting back and waiting until there's a very strong confirmation, which maybe we will see in the future. Now, one of the biggest questions that people want to understand is that why does Bitcoin actually follow the liquidity trends of the stock markets or all of the markets? Because normally crypto back in the time especially has been very much on the other side. Therefore, meaning it was very contrarian. If any other markets pump, right, then Bitcoin would, for example, stay flat. Or when all of these markets like the stock markets or whatsoever fall, then Bitcoin would, for example, rise because people would go out of other assets like stocks, for example, the S&P, whatever, right, indices, and then they would pump Bitcoin actually, right? So money would flow from stocks back into Bitcoin, back into stocks. So it's like kind of more like a swing, right? Because at the end of the day, what rich people do is there's always a market to make money and you just need to find it. And liquidity moves into different directions, right? It's like focus and attention. Where focus is, attention or energy will go, right? So they would, for example, be focused on stocks, make 100%. Then they move the money to crypto, make 100%. Then they move the money into, let's say, altcoins, right? Or like Bitcoin first, Ethereum, then into altcoins, then into meme coin. Just for example, that's the normal hierarchy or the normal ladder of liquidity as we have seen it, especially in the past. But now it seems very much that Bitcoin is very much tied to the normal economy. And again, what is the reason for that, guys? We just talked about it. It's mainly because it's very institutionalized right now. And institutions are making the price right now, not we are making the price, okay? The easiest thing to understand, and we always call it the big banks, the market makers, I think is even a better explanation. They make the price. They are the ones to shake the price. They are the ones to change the price. They are the ones to move the prices up or down. I cannot do that, right? If I put an order with $100,000, it's not gonna move the price really, right? Maybe in a very small meme coin, yes, but not in a Bitcoin, not in an Ethereum, not in a Ripple, not in these coins. It's impossible. But the market makers can do that because if very big institutions decide to sell or buy in a certain price, this will move the market. Therefore, these same institutions that trade crypto right now or are in a Bitcoin ETF and an Ethereum ETF and future up and coming ETFs, they basically trade the market and they invest into the market the very same way as they do in stocks, as they do in Forex, right? And if you see the Forex market, which again, I feel like out of experience comes to the closest right now of comparison, is that a Forex market will move 1 or 2%, a couple of pips, right? 100 pips, 200 pips, 300 pips, then come back and correct, and then build up either a bullish or a bearish trend. And that's exactly what is happening in the crypto markets, as you can see. So we are following these same patterns. Why? Because the ones that create these patterns are the same institutions as they've always created these patterns also in other markets. That's why I say they are so similar right now. So many people fear what will happen if the Nasdaq corrects. Many people are saying right now with Trump, we could see a very big stock explosion, a very big correction. Will the Bitcoin follow? And I'm pretty sure it will, right? The link in between Bitcoin and the Nasdaq or in general economy or fundamental decisions really impact Bitcoin right now because it's dominated by the same players that move the price as just explained. Therefore, I truly believe we could see a $75,000, $70,000 Bitcoin or even more. Logically right now, I truly believe we are gonna stay in range, maybe correct to 75, 70, but from there on, we have very strong bullish levels, which if they hold is very positive for a long-term $125,000 BTC. If not, depending on how Trump handles it, we will see. But I truly believe, and I had a very good conversation yesterday on a Zoom call with a very new prospect that was very interested in our product, in trading, how he can automate trading. And he was saying, Trump is such an idiot, he's messing up the complete market. And I said, yes, he is. He takes and he gives, right? He gave us a lot, but he also took back a lot with all of his tariffs. So he gave a lot with becoming president and talking a lot about crypto. Therefore, we started the bull run. But he also took a lot with all of his tariffs. But the thing is that what is if Trump Trump, and that's what I'm thinking, because he's not dumb, right? The question is, what if Trump, and that's my theory, is slowly crashing the market? Because we can either go two ways right now. Either we just go to 125K Bitcoin and then we drop to 50, 60. And the same with the NASDAQ, we drop like 50% and then we have a crash in the economy. And that would be very, very bad. Inflation, but all of these things. What if we already know the market needs to cool down? What if everyone understands we need to really reset? What if we're all just waiting for this? As a professional trader, I've been waiting since 2 years for the NASDAQ to crash. Nothing is happening. They have been inflating it constantly with monetary policies, especially after COVID and so on, right? But what is now the game plan? I truly believe that Trump is slowly correcting the market, like going downstairs, right? Instead of just dropping down, right? 2-story, 3-story building, we are kind of building stairs into the market and slowly correcting 5% and then 5% and then steady and then 5% again. So it's step by step. Therefore, so it's easier to reset the whole economy, because if you reset something, an economy, for example, you can let it crash completely, or you slowly correct it down 5%, let it cool off, 5% again, let it cool off, 5% again, let it cool off. And that's what I truly think is happening right now. So I truly believe Trump is doing a very smart move here of not being the president right now, crashing and being responsible for a complete crash of the markets, but rather corrected step by step. So therefore we could see lower prices if obviously NASDAQ also corrects. The DAX is very high, right? The German index. The S&P is insanely high. All the indexes are completely blown over the top, right? They need to correct, but we have two ways to do that. Do we do it by step, or do we do it by a big crash, which then at the end of the day causes a lot of troubles and problems? So I'm just gonna continue to DCA at these levels, buying in and just staying firm, calm, cool, and collected, because I truly believe that what Trump is doing is smart. And if I'm right with this, we will see in the future. It's just a theory, I don't know, but it pretty much seems like it. That's what I would especially do if I would be the president and if I would have power of this market. Instead of just dropping it to hell, right? I would do it step by step. And how Trump behaves, how he announces things, how he twitters about things, how his family around crypto is talking about these things is very, very interesting. I truly believe again that we could see a $70,000 Bitcoin, $75,000 Bitcoin, or even more than that. Scenario number one, and most likely, is 70, 75,000. From there on, we will continue to be either a lot sideways for a couple of months, and then in Q3, Q4 of this very year, we probably will still see the 125,000 BTC. I truly believe this is a shakeout. I truly believe that it always gets bad first, right? And before it gets good. That's a normal principle of life. That's how I expect success to be. Most very successful entrepreneurs will tell you about this very theory that before everything goes very well, it goes to shit first. And I see it the same way. And I truly believe that many people are out of the market, going out of the market, are getting liquidated, are losing their positions, are back into minus, and they don't want to be in the market anymore. Therefore, we will go up. That's how the markets always work. But because at the end of the day, if there's blood on the streets when we buy, and if everyone is happy is when we sell. So we could see a short-term squeeze. We could then see a long-term, a couple of months, let's say over the summer phase especially, a sideways trend, and then really start to pick up in October, November, and December of the end of this year, and really see a big secondary pump. Because again, I don't truly believe that we just see bull runs like where we go up for a year and then we go down for a year, but I truly believe we are going in stairs, because that's how institutions work. So the best strategy right now, in my opinion, and I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just gonna tell you what I am doing, and you can either do, and you should do your own due diligence, and then obviously add whatever you want to add and listen to other people. I'm definitely not the best in this topic, but I'm very, very good and enough to be profitable. And I truly believe that the best strategy right now is to DCA in, which means dollar cost averaging, just buying at these levels. I'm actually pretty happy that Bitcoin right now, and Ethereum especially at $2,000, offers us so low prices for me to continue to accumulate and buy and buy and buy, which I think is truly beautiful, and I'm very grateful for that. So I'm gonna thankfully take this advantage and buy as much as I can. In that sense, what I'm seeing a lot is panic selling, is people liquidating their positions because they're insanely pissed. Some people are even in minus. Most of the people will be in minus because they obviously always follow the same system, which is buying when it's going up and when it's already up, and then selling when it's below that. And I would not do that. The reason is because I would ask myself the question in the first place, why did I get into crypto? And I always say crypto is a long-term thing. If you want short-term things, then you should trade. If you want long-term, then you should invest. Most people just don't trade because they don't know how it works. Therefore, just don't do short-term. That's the thing. At the end of the day, we always say that trading is a professional skill. Once you have it, you should use it. But if you are an investor should have a 3 to 5 years time horizon at minimum. And if you have invested a year ago, 2 years ago, that's not 3 years and that's not 5 years. So therefore, people panic selling right now are just insanely dumb. And that's what the market exactly wants, is that people get out of the market, and these market makers even control it more and they wreck more of us because we give them the liquidity. Therefore, if we now sell and they have very big buy orders placed, these buy orders will get filled because they will buy your sells. If you have a Bitcoin right now, let's give you an easy example. Let's say you have been holding on to a Bitcoin for a year or a couple of years now, okay? And you're like, hey, I'm so pissed, it's not working, Bitcoin is not doing it, I'm gonna sell my Bitcoin. Do you know who's gonna be very happy of buying this Bitcoin? Michael Saylor. You know who's gonna be very happy buying this Bitcoin? BlackRock. Do you know who's gonna be very happy buying your Bitcoin at $70,000? All of these institutions, they are just fighting and waiting for it. That's what they want. That's what they want. And once this happens, they will drive up Bitcoin to 125K and then sell on the top again. And who gets wrecked again? You, because you sold your Bitcoin. Now you shit, Bitcoin is going high again. You buy it back at a higher price. And you're like, shit, now I need to make a couple of percent, so you want to hold it longer. You're like, oh, Bitcoin will go to $200,000. Then you will start to listen to YouTube videos where YouTubers say Bitcoin will go to $1 million. And you're like, easy, I made some minus, I got back in, I feel better right now. I know how all of this works because I've been through it myself. That's the normal emotional evolution of a trader. And that's what most people really mistaken for. And that's why they lose in the market. And that's why these institutions win, and they will continue to win. So you either play their game and you understand them and you trade with them, or you're against them. If you're against them, you always lose. Subscribe and turn on your notification. And now I want to hear from you, which scenario do you think will happen? A fast drop and recovery, or a slow, painful grind? Let's talk in the comments.